Give feedback during the workout. And here's some ways to give feedback. Repeat directions and corrections, right? Speak to them during activity on the fly, meaning as they're working out, I'm repeating what I want them to do. Even if they're doing it right, I'm just repeating so that it becomes instinctive. Celebrate the little successes. So if they do something good, even if they don't make it or they, turn it over, celebrate the mechanics. Hey, that was a great follow through. I know you missed the shot, but man, way to get low. So, that in workouts, the makes will come, right? Don't focus on the makes, focus on the mechanics. I always do this, SPPP, stop, play, pause, and then play, right? Jump in, jump out. You're a mirror. You praise right, you correct wrong. You give clear, concise, specific feedback, but when you stop play, you never want them to lose their sweat, and you never want them to lose their attention. Again, when I make corrections, it might be 10, 15, 20 seconds. It's not a clinic, right? After 40 seconds, man, especially if you're training elite players, pros, college kids, and they'll start talking back to you. Come on, coach, let's go, man. Come on, let's go. Use questions, provoke thought. How'd you make that? What should you have done? Where's the screener should be? Where should the screener be? Use questions when you correct them. Have them contribute. What should you have done? There you go. Like, don't always jump in and tell them, hey, do this, do that. Say, hey, Johnny, what should you have done? Yeah, hit the lift guy. Good job. Let's go. Like, get them to tell you the answer, because even if, as smart as we are, coaches, if we jump in right now and physically start doing stuff, we know what to do, but our body just sometimes doesn't want to do it. Same thing with kids, man. They know the answer. Let them tell you the answer before you always give it to them. You got to jump in, sweat with them. Sometimes guide them physically, right? The great teachers show, right, what needs to be demonstrated. So the next time you're on a court, which teacher do you want to be? The average teacher says what? The good, sometimes great teacher says and shows the how, right? I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to tell you what to do, but the champion teacher, the exceptional woman, the exceptional man does all the above and then explains the why. This is why you do it. This is when you do it, right? When that offensive player is driving, this is when you stunt, and this is why you stunt. Don't always forget those two description action verbs that you can use. I do this a lot with my elite players, and actually my company just developed, we hired a tech company to do live virtual filming and kind of like Kobe detail. And we can send it to you. You can watch it when you want, but film to the floor, floor to the film. Film the workout, film a shot, go back and watch it right after practice or the first thing the next day. But I do a lot of that with my phone, especially on mechanics. Teaching methods, right? Show and tell. Show them, tell them. Even if you don't, even if you're not a basketball physical demonstrator, obviously that's part of my shtick, but you can do it without a ball. But there's 3 or 4 teaching points per skill, no more of that, 2, 3 skill sets per hour. Anything else, man, you're really not getting the reps. But one thing I do is when I teach a skill, I do it in a 1, 2, 3 manner, meaning 1, 2, 3. Like whatever I'm teaching, I do it in step by step. There's levels of progression, so I teach it slow, and then I use game speed, right? The rep drills. They use a few disruption or training tools like a cone, pop-up defender, tennis ball, and then I give them contact, like flesh versus reads. So again, levels of progression, slow, game speed, then contact. If you have no terminology, you have no culture. So your communication intel needs to be on point. Like, core values, right? Offensive actions, player goals versus team goals. For example, you see a player working on mid-range shots, but in their offense, the coach doesn't allow them to shoot mid-range. So, there's a disconnect there, right? And a lot of times it might be with terminology. So don't assume anything. If you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, right? So again, you gotta make sure that you define player goals and team goals. Do they understand you? Keep it practical. If the defense does this, you do this. So when I teach, it's based on solution-based basketball. Hey, the defense does this, then you do this. If the offense does this, then you do this. You got it? All right, let's go. It can be that simple. That's solution-based basketball. One of the most simplest teachers I've ever worked with, Tara Vanderveer there. Unbelievable, simplistic, consistent, but creative way that she gets her point across. And she does it with passion. How do you get your players to be passionate? You role model it. It starts with you. It's everything from your body language to your tone to your claps, using music in workouts. But the best teacher is you. I create a lot of passion because I demonstrate everything. But how are kids going to remember? You know, kids forget 90% of what they hear. They forget 50% of what they do unless they get reps. They repeat. They review. They recite. They redo. They got to respect the process. So, again, it's constantly reviewing. Give them your workout sheets, right? Every workout I do with a player, I give them this sheet or I make them write notes. I might send them, if we worked on a ball screen and Damian Lillard does it well, I might send them a quick YouTube link, you know, in their Instagram direct message. But it's constantly, again, you can do different drills, but the core values of what you want them to learn, as far like one skill can have 15 different drills to get the kid to do reps in that skill. So they get, you know, repetition is the mother of success. Some ideas, they take notes, you give them notes, you film and send it to them. And then I went too fast. One day they perform the show. Like in one practice, you know, have whoever you're working out say, all right, y'all go through the workout. I want you to work on ball screens. I want you to work on your driving kick and get some shots up. Do some one-on-one, 2-on-0, 2-on-2, but you guys do the workout. And then you stand in that watchtower, right? Stand in that watchtower and you jump in when anything is fundamentally wrong, but let them show you what a great teacher you are. Because if they don't, if they have a crappy workout by themselves and they don't remember a lot, you know, you need to look yourself in the mirror, but also obviously probably they're not getting enough reps. There's that impartation. There's a chip missing where they're not remembering what you gave them. So, but that's I know Greg Popovich, Cheryl Reeves does that a lot. Cheryl Reeves, WNBA world champion, 4 WNBA championships. I had a chance to train her team a couple years ago for about 4 months. That's Kelvin Johnson, and he played at Kentucky, a lottery pick last year. I did that with him, where every Friday it was his workout, and I was just a rebounder.